basics, we'll go through theory initially, okay, just to understand, like everyone is on the same page, and then we'll go about uh, going into detail, okay, the demos and all, okay. Now, replication, okay, what does Microsoft says, okay? It says that it's a technology for copying and distributing data and database objects, okay. So it's like basically it's a copy paste, okay. What you do, right? It's a copying the data from one database to another, okay, and then synchronizing between databases. So see, if you have to copy the data, right, there are multiple things, right? You can do a backup restore, you can do a import export wizard and so on, right? But then this will be just like you copied it and then it's done, right? The main thing about replication is we are synchronizing the data, okay, continuously to maintain consistency. So always the data is in sync from publisher to subscriber, right? I mean, obviously if it's in transactional, but if it's in snapshot, then definitely it depends upon when did we do the snapshot, right? Okay. So what is the architecture of it? Well, you have the publisher, you have a distributor, and you have a subscriber, right? So this is similar to magazine industry, which you might like whenever you started reading about replication, right? The first thing that you come across is magazine publishing industry, okay? Because they also have the same nomenclature or names, okay? What you have. You have the publisher. Publisher is more. See, you have a publisher, distributor, subscriber model. What happens is all the data changes are happening on the publisher here. Okay, the distributor is the server, which is actually doing all the work. Okay, it has all the replication agents, and it is actually picking the data from publisher and then moving it or putting it into a subscriber. Right. So this is the publisher, distributor, subscriber model. Okay, the articles that you have, right? It can be a table. So 95% of the time we'll have tables. Okay, but we can also have views, stored procedures, index views, and UDS. Okay, the functions. These are different functions. Okay, we'll do a demo on the stored procedures. As an article also for that, and we'll see why we use the stored procedure model, right? And why is it beneficial? Okay, in some cases we have to do that. Okay. Publication is nothing but a collection of one or more articles. So in one publication, you can have multiple articles. Okay. I think this is for Satya. Satya, I think you have just started, right, with replication. So
yes.
Yeah. So do you know about this, like publication articles? I mean, the names you might be knowing.
Okay. Yeah, publication articles are tables and views. I mean, tables I have worked. Okay. Views and stored procedure I have not seen it.
We will do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, local or remote distributor. Now, how many of you are using remote distributor in your environment? I mean, what do you mean by remote distributor is the distributor is separate than the publisher.
Yeah, we are using remote distributor.
Yeah, we are using remote distributors.
Okay. So you know about like how it works, right? So push and pull subscription, right? So we have different subscription. Push is like this. See, basically whenever
distributor is on the
subscriber. Not distributor, subscriber. Basically, subscriber is pulling the data. Okay, subscriber is pulling the data from distributor. In case of full replication, full subscription, and push, the distributor is pushing the data. Okay, so whatever we talk about, right, it's all related to distributor, because distributor is the main person who is doing the work. Okay.
Yes.
So publisher is doing nothing. Publisher is just, it's an OLTP system, right? I mean, publisher is the main OLTP. It's main concerned with the OLTP transactions that is happening on that. Okay. It's not doing anything with respect to replication. Okay.
Okay.
Subscriber is also just taking the data. Okay. From distributor. Is also doing nothing. Okay. The main, the worker, basically the worker you say, right, is a distributor. So whenever you have to configure a replication, right, and if you have a distributor, a remote distributor, make sure that you have a good configuration for it. Okay, the CPU and memory. Okay, because I've seen that publisher in my environment, right? Previous environment, like my publisher had like almost 600 to 700 GB memory, right? And CPU also, it was like almost 64 or 32, some CPU was there. Distributor was hardly 16 GB. Okay. So definitely like publisher was able to do the work properly, right? I mean, all the transactions, but distributor, we were getting lot of slowness because of the, because it was not able to keep keep up the pace of which the data was, transactions were happening. Okay, so distributor, if you're having a problem with the latency or something, just check once, okay, about the distributor configuration, and if you want, you can increase it, the CPU and memory. Okay, this is one thing which I've observed that in my environment. So once we change it to 32 GB, right, definitely it increased, and I mean the performance increased, and we were not able to see the latency much. Okay.
Yeah.
So replication, snapshot application, that is one thing where you
Yes.
apply snapshot at specific time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there's no incremental changes. Okay, like it's just like a photo. Okay, if you take a photo from a camera, right? Okay,
Yes.
just
Yes.
look at that. Okay, this is how I remember. Okay, different application. So you take a photo and then you get the data as of that moment. Okay, you don't see the live data, what is happening. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
the photo. Transactional is publisher subscriber, same. So here also transactional, you start with a snapshot, okay, because initially we need to get the data, right, from the publisher to subscriber to sync it. So you apply the snapshot, okay. So in both places, you have the snapshot. You have the snapshot being applied to the subscriber, right? But then you also have the incremental data at regular intervals. Maybe it can be continuously, or it can be every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, depending upon how you want. Okay? It's a near real time, like just a live TV that you see, right? Any news channel you see or something. So it's just a live. It's like a live TV. Okay. Merge application. The difference is, it's bidirectional, right? Data can be changed at both publisher and subscriber. So at publisher also I'm changing the data, and subscriber also I'm changing the data. Definitely you will have conflict, right? Because subscriber can also change the data, and publisher can also. So we will see how we can detect it and we can resolve it. Okay, we'll have a demo for it. Peer-to-peer application will not have demo. We'll just go through it because it's a different node. Okay, just like all are equal in that sense, right? Where it's all are peers. Similar to transactional replication, but we don't have the publisher subscriber model. We have a different nodes model. Yeah. Okay. And since the other nodes can also change the data, here also we have a detection resolution. Okay.
Yes.
Any doubts in this? Like, I think this should be fine enough, right? Like, this is just replication.
Yeah.
Fine, right? Okay. Okay. How many of you know about the agents in detail? Like, what exactly each agent does, and what are the significance of it?
Raw.
Okay. So that's something we have to do. Definitely. See, whenever we talk about the different application, right? For different application, we have different. Okay, can you go on mute, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm doing just.
Okay. See, whenever we talk about the replication, right? Okay, these are all the agents who are doing the work. Okay, there are different agents for doing different work here. Okay, and agents are nothing but they are at the background. They are just the SQL agent jobs. Okay, there are jobs which are created for each of the agents, and the jobs are running continuously, or whether they are running on periodic intervals. Okay, but we call them as agent because that's how we troubleshoot also the issues, right? We have to troubleshoot where is the issue. Okay, if we get an issue in the transactional application, we have to understand which agent is having a problem. Okay, how many agents are involved in it, and which agent we are having a problem here. Okay, so we'll go through that in detail. So as you know, it's an agent. It's SQL Server jobs behind the scene. Okay, all of them has a job, SQL Server agent jobs behind the scene. Okay. Okay, what does Snapshot do? Snapshot agent. Okay, it prepares snapshot files containing schema and data. Okay, complete article data. So we'll go that in detail when we configure snapshot, right? But as you can understand, this snapshot agent and snapshot replication, they're different. Okay, snapshot agent is nothing but it's just doing a BCP out of a table. Okay, so if you have a publisher, right, you're just doing a BCP out of a table and you're putting into a flat file. Okay, and then what happens is this distribution agent then copies this data to subscriber. Okay, we'll see that, okay, in detail. Log editor agent, it actually copies transactions marked for application, transaction application. So in transaction application, it checks the log file of the publisher, and then it gets data from there, and then will then distribution agent comes and then it distributes the data into subscriber. Okay, it's just a introduction. Okay, we'll go in detail when we configure transaction replication. Distribution agent is always there between a distribution database or distributor and subscriber. Okay, so it moves this particular snapshot files or transactions, and then it moves the data to subscriber. Okay, so each one of them has a different role. You can see here, right? Each one of them has a different role, and we need to understand which replication is having problem, and in that replication how many agents are involved, and which agent is having problem. Okay, so this is very important if you're troubleshooting the latency issues or any errors that you got, right? So this is very important. And there are merge agent, which is actually used for merge replication. It applies initial snapshot and transactions. Okay, so not mentioned here, but yeah, that's it. We'll go in detail, okay, on each of the agents. And this is like a agent mapping, okay, replication type and agent mapping, like you have in snapshot replication, how many agents you have, transaction, how many agents, and so on. Okay, once we configure the replication, we'll come to know. Okay, any doubts like before we start with the hands-on?
No, Nikhil.
No, actually, these
Okay.
are the basics I know. Yeah.
I just thought you just have a basic understanding and then we can go ahead.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. These basic things I know. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. See, so what I've done is, obviously I don't have 3 servers, right? I mean, it's my laptop. So I have 3 instances running on the same laptop, my laptop. You have the OLTP01, you have dist01, and then you have RPT01. Okay. So as you know, replication is mostly used for reporting. Okay, that's why I put RPT01 as a destination and subscriber. Okay. And people say that it's a HA solution. I beg to differ on that. Okay, it's not a high availability solution because you're not copying the entire tables of the database. Okay, for example, if you have an AdventureWorks database right here, and you have so many tables here, right? Out of this, you're just going to copy only like say 10, 20, 30 tables, right? You're not going to copy all the tables. So it's not an HA solution, it's just a reporting solution. Okay, so people say that no, we configure replication for HA. No, I mean I beg to differ on that. Okay, for HA we have like always on, and you have I mean always on is the main thing. You have failover cluster like the previous traditional failover clusters and so on, right? Okay, so this is scenario. You have OLTP01 as a publisher, dist01 as a distributor, and RPT01 as a reporting environment or a subscriber, right? And right now I have not configured anything. Like I had configured, I removed everything. Okay, right now. So if you see here, right? So the basic understanding, like to understand, right? Like if replication is configured or not, just right click on replication, and if you see configure distribution, right? If this is a scenario, then it means that there's no replication configured on this server. Okay, it's like a plain vanilla SQL Server installed. Okay, same for here. In this 01, if you do configure distribution, and here configure distribution. Okay, so in your environment, right, like if you want to say remove replication from one of the servers, okay, you are so you remove it, then you get some error, then you remove it, by running some commands and so on, right? Till that time you don't get this configure distribution as an option here, till that time replication is still working. Okay, somewhere there is some hidden somewhere, or like it's orphaned or something. Okay, if you get this configure distribution, it means that it's now replication is completely removed from the system. Okay, so let's start. So the first step is to configure distributor. Okay, that is the first step that we always do, right? So let's start with distributor. So let's start with the remote distributor itself. Okay, I'm not going to configure the local distributor. I'll start with the remote distributor. So configure distribution on distributor, right? So it says who will be a distributor. Okay, so I'm saying this 01 will act as its own distributor. Okay, just tell me, okay, whenever you get any or you have any doubts, right, just ask me questions. Okay. Okay, snapshot folder. Now this is very important. Normally you should always specify a shared folder here. See, you to allow distribution merge, etc. You must use a network path, okay, to refer to snapshot folder. So it should not be a, for example, here it's mentioned, right, a local file folder. You should always use a network path or a shared folder. Okay, so let me go and create a shared folder. So in SQL Replication, right, I'll create a shared folder. So let me put the name as Repl data, okay, and then let me share it. Okay, I will not give any permissions right now. I want it to fail. Okay, and then we'll see what we have to give, right? So I'm not giving anything. Okay, so I'm just I mean, this is my ID, but I'm just sharing it here. This is the owner, and then you get my PC REPL data. Okay, so just to check if it's working fine. So I'm able to access it, right? I mean, I'm the owner of this laptop, right? So I'm able to access it, but definitely SQL Server will fail, okay, when it tries to access it. So let us just put it here and go to next. The distribution database name. Okay, so normally you put distribution database name here, right? But if you're configuring remote distributor, I always prefer that you should have a different name. Okay, why different name? Because that's not okay, I can't go there. Okay, see, OLTP01. Now I'm configuring this particular distributor, right? For OLTP01 as my publisher, right? I can have OLTP02 also as a publisher using the same remote distributor. I can have OLTP03 also, right? And I want that all of them, like OLTP01 should go into this particular database name. For example, I do remdisk underscore OLTP01. So this is my distribution database name. Okay. So I know that whatever transactions are coming from OLTP01, they're going to this particular database in distributor. Okay. For other one, right, I'll configure OLTP02 as a distribution. So I can have multiple distribution databases for different data for different publishers. Okay. Are you clear on this? Like, I mean, ideally, I changed the database name. Okay, just to understand like why, from which publisher this is coming up. Okay, if you just have one publisher, you can use distribution also. But if you have multiple, right, then you need to know like from where which publisher is pointing to which distribution database.
So Nikhil, is it more of like maintaining the distribution database specific to a single publisher database, right?
Exactly. See, because see, right, like the transactions when you pull the data, I mean, when you read the data from publisher, right, the transactions are stored in this distribution database, right? So we don't want the distribution database to grow large, right? If you have 2-3 publishers, all of them will put into the same database, right? And for some reason, if database gets corrupted or something, right, you get when all the replications are impacted, right? So it's just a way to offset the issues or risks that you have.
Right.
Okay. So I'm using this for the other database. If you have, you can use OTP 02 and like that. Okay. Publisher. Okay. So it's saying who should be your publisher. Okay. And this is a place where you have to specify your OLTP 01. So let me add it. So my PC OLTP 01 and I remove this 01. Okay. So for this particular distributor, my publisher is OLTP01. Okay, and this is a distribution database. If you have multiple database, right, you will see multiple options here. Okay, but right now it's only one, so you have to select this. Okay. Specify the password remote publishers will use to connect to distributor. Now this is very important. Okay. Now what happens is like when you're configuring a local distributor, okay, like a publisher and distributor, they both are on the same server. You don't see this screen, okay, because they both are same, right? The publisher and distributor are same, so they don't need a login to connect to each other. Okay, but since this is a remote distributor, the publisher will connect to distributor. Now, why publisher will connect to distributor? Because it needs to put the data or transactions into distribution database, right? Okay, so it needs a login. Okay, so publisher is going to put the data or transactions into distribution database, so it needs a login to connect to distribution database, and that's what we have the publish password for it. Okay, so let me put some password here. ABCD 4. Next, configure distribution and generate a script file. Okay, let me generate a script file also, and let me do this for both. Configure distribution. Okay, so I think I have previous files. Let me remove the previous files. Okay. Configure distribution. Okay. Any doubts in distributor configuration?
No, okay. It's understandable.
Okay, till the time it is. I'm not able to go into it. Okay. So since it's a system database, right? You will see this database here in system database. Okay. Okay, time let it complete. Okay, success. So it's completed. Now, if I refresh this, so I get this RAM disk underscore LTP01. Okay. Most probably you might be seeing only distribution database, right? Distribution as a name because that's a default. Okay. Everywhere normally you put distribution name only. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever names you have. But for simplicity, I normally use this, specific to a particular publisher here. And now if you see, right, in the application, if I right click on this, see, I'm getting this distributor properties and distributor publishing. So configure distributor is gone. Okay, so it means that there is some replication components installed on my distributor here. Okay, and here also if I see, okay, here you can still see because here you're not configured anything, right? So here you can still see configure distribution, but that's fine. Okay. You see this distributor underscore admin. Okay, this is a ID. Okay, the login ID which publisher uses. Okay, OLTP01 uses to put the data into this remdisk underscore OLTP01, this distribution database. Okay, and the password is what I have specified, right, while creating that distributor. Okay, so this distributor admin. Okay, so if you forget, okay, like for example, some DBA had configured this replication, okay, long back, and they might have given some password for it, right, distributor underscore admin. Now, if you want OLTP02, you have a new publisher now to use the same distributor here. So while configuring, right, it will ask for the password for this. Okay, if you don't know the password, there is a problem, right? Because you know, the OLTP02 will not be able to connect to disk 01, right? And if you give a new password, your previous replication will break. Okay, so I mean, yeah, obviously we can go and we can change the password there, but ideally, always whenever you configure application, right, the password for this you should store it somewhere. Okay, in CyberArk or wherever you have, right, wherever you store your password, store this password. Okay, this is very important. Okay, and what is the permission of it? If you see the permission, okay, not in user mapping. It's a sysadmin. Okay, so obviously you can understand, right? So much high permission. So password definitely should be very complex, and you should not lose it. Okay. Now, so let's start with snapshot replication. We'll understand like what exactly happens. So okay. So now once you configure this distributor, right, you will see some. You'll see some jobs which are created. Okay, so whatever category that you have, right, starting with REPL, REPL, that actually says that it's a replication job. Okay, and then you have a subscription cleanup, the distribution cleanup, and so on, right? Application agent. These are all maintenance jobs for application, because obviously you should have some mechanism to delete old data, okay, which is already applied to subscriber. Why do you have to keep it, right? Otherwise the data will keep on growing. So all these are different maintenance jobs which are created when you configure distribution. Okay, the most important one is this distribution cleanup. Okay, right now it's not enabled, but I think when you create your publication, right, I think it will be enabled automatically. So this is like when you delete the data, okay, the transactions which are there in your distribution database. Then you have the agent history cleanup. Okay, like you have agents, right? I mean, all the agents will have some logging method. Okay, like okay, so many transactions moved, so many commands moved, and so on, right? So that actually also cleanup needs to have, otherwise it will also keep on growing. So that is the job for it. Expired subscription cleanup. Okay, whatever subscription is expired, you can clean up. There are a lot of things. Okay, the main thing is about this distribution cleanup. This is very important. And a lot of times we see blocking also. Okay, like it's trying to clean up. Basically, cleanup is it's deleting the data, right, for distribution, and also replication is trying to put the data into the table, and this job is deleting the data. So we see blocking happening. Okay, many times in a very big environment. Okay, so at that time, if you have a lot of transactions, right, you have to disable it, and you can enable it later. Okay, we'll see that later once you do some troubleshooting stuff. Okay.
Nikhil, all these jobs get auto created when we set up distributor.
Yes, yes. So I forgot to show you initially, like before we started, right? Like we only had this job. Okay, this is like by default. Okay, when you install SQL, this job comes out, there were no jobs.
Mhm.
Okay. If you see any job, like for example, let's see this job. Okay, the creation date, creation time. It is Sunday 7:57 p.m. just right now.
Mhm.
Right. So, but if this job, if you see, obviously it will be like old, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean Tuesday. I mean previous date, right? So, okay. So all these are jobs which are created when you configure distribution. So you have to understand like these are the distribution jobs, but when you configure publication, right, there will be additional jobs created. Okay, because I told you, right, all these are the agents. Okay, like you are talk about these agents, right? This agent, okay, agents are nothing but they are the jobs in background. So when you create publication, you will see additional jobs created here, and we'll see that. Okay, which jobs are created. Okay, so let me start with snapshot agent. Okay, so I have this database, adventure works just to. So let me go and right click on this. One second, why is it showing? Why is it showing configure distribution? It should show. My PC OLTP 01 and this is. Okay. Yeah. So okay, since it's not a distributor, right? It will always show this configure distribution, but you can start ahead with creating a publication here. Okay. So local okay, so I was confused. So local publications, you can go and you can create it. Okay, new publication here. Okay, it's asking who is a distributor. Okay, now see, maximum like 60-70% of whatever I have worked, right? You have a local distributor itself. Okay, but for bigger environment, right, like where you have a lot of tables, then you have a remote distributor. So definitely this is not my distributor. I say that okay, my distributor is different, and I select the distributor name. So use the following server as a distributor. So I'm putting my PC dist01. Okay, this is my distributor. Next. Okay. Now it's asking the password required to establish connection with the distributor. So this password is same as what my password was there, right? Here, which I specified. So let me put the same password. This is the password for distributor underscore admin login. Okay, where specify the password used to connect to distributor, right? So this is the password I use. Publication database. Okay, I only have one database right now, so it's just selected. Okay, you'll have multiple. You have to select whatever you want. Next. Okay, so let's start with snapshot one. Okay, snapshot is nothing but I told you, right? It's a photo. Okay, so it's a send a snapshot of the published data. So let me select the snapshot. Next. And for snapshot, there is no requirement of like you need to have primary key or something, right? I mean, for transactional replication, you have the requirement. But here you can select any of the tables here. Okay. So let me take a table which is small. Okay, I don't want my system to. So let me see. Okay, so let me take a table which is product and description. Okay, 1764 record. Okay, let me take this. What was that table? Production, V product and description. Okay, V product and description. Why can't I see that? And, okay. Let's take this address person. Okay, let's take this table. Okay, so once you select this, right, now you have a lot of options here. Set properties of highlighted table article. So you can select which property you want. Okay. The default option, okay, here is this is destination object. Okay, like in destination or in subscriber, the default option is drop existing object and create a new one. Like for example, if you already have a table which is address on the destination, you will drop it and then you create a new one. Okay, you have different options like you can delete the data, you can truncate the data on the existing object, you can keep existing object unchanged. Okay, so but we will go with default one. And also we have a lot of options here, like what all things you want to copy, right? Primary constraint, point constraint. So by default, you have some true and true false. The main thing is about non-cluster index, which I've always seen that it's false, right? So ideally we should also copy that. Okay. So normally we go and we change it to true because I also want non-cluster indexes to be present. Otherwise my queries, right, on the destination, it will be very slow if you don't have the non-cluster index. Okay, this is one thing which I always make it true. But then you also have other things, right? Table partitioning schemes and default binding, special for indexes and so on. Whatever you want, you can just select it here. And then okay. Next. Filter. Yeah, any doubt?
One question here, Nikhil. So you just enabled copy non-cluster index, right? So, so what it basically does is whatever indexes that you have in publisher, right? The same non-cluster indexes will be there in subscriber, right?
Yes. Yes.
But what if reporting team wants to have more indexes in reporting side than publisher?
They can have it. They can create. See, this is not the subscriber is not a read-only database. Okay,
right.
You can create more indexes. The problem is, I'll tell you. Okay, if you, for example, if you have 3 non-cluster indexes, okay, and then you get more 2 non-cluster indexes on the destination, right, subscriber.
Right.
Okay, so publisher has 3 non-cluster index, subscriber has 5 non-cluster indexes. Now everything is running fine, right? I mean, all is like life is good, right? But there's some problem, and you have to reinitialize. Okay,
Right.
create a snapshot again, right? The problem here is that again those will be wiped out, and then you'll have
That's
a new. Okay, so for that reason, you have to change this. Then you don't have to drop it. If you drop the table, right, your those 2 non-class index are also dropped. Okay, so in that case, what you will do is you will change it to truncate data.
Right.
So when you truncate the data, obviously truncation is faster than delete. Okay, so don't use this unless you have some specific reason for using it, right? Truncate the data on the destination. Your indexes are not impacted. Okay, they are intact, and then you have the data there.
Right. And also this option is dangerous, and especially if you have a row IDs, right? It will reset the identity values, right? So
yes, all these are problems. So, but yeah, it's all on a case-to-case basis, like what do you want, right?
Right.
But truncate will reset it, right?
Reset it, yes, Nikhil. Yes,
So
Nikhil.
truncation will not have a problem. The problem will come with delete.
Yes. So there was a scenario recently that I had was right. So the user wanted, like the application team wanted, truncate the data, right? I mean, they want the data to be truncated. Then I asked them why. The answer that they gave us is they have a issue with the identity. Then they wanted the subscriber data to be truncated. Then I suggested like it'll impact the row identity. Why don't they go and reset the identity, right? From where they left it off, right? Find it out the reset identities and then do it,
Right. So yeah, it all depends upon the scenario, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for your case, you can use a truncate data. Okay. So you want impact the non-cluster indexes. Okay.
Coming back to the question, right, Nikhil, the indexes part, right? I have 10 indexes in subscriber. I have 3 indexes that come up with the snapshot generation, right? Always, right, reporting will have more data to be pulled out from reporting server, right, with the right amount of indexes, right? So when that happens, right, when the data is coming from publisher, right, will that cause any performance issue? That
Data is coming from publisher. See, yes. I mean, obviously, you have more indexes, then the inserts will be,
right,
slow.
right.
But then see, you also have to see about like how much data we are getting, how much transitions are happening on the publisher,
Right.
which are so yeah. If in the at the night time maybe there is a bad job running, there will be a lot of inserts deletes happening, right? At that time you have some performance issues. But you consider the main role of reporting. What is the role of
Right.
reporting? That people are going to use it for creating the reports or selecting, right? So so you will improve the performance of your application, but you will degrade the performance of their reports if you remove the application, if you remove the cluster indexes, right?
Right.
So definitely you will have to balance it out. Okay, you have to see you don't create more non-cluster indexes also, but also you have to see how much impact I'm getting from replication.
Right.
So, but yes, that's a good point. Okay, you'll have more non-cluster indexes on the subscriber part, and we had that in our environment. So,
Right.
okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so let me do this. Okay, with drop existing. I do next. Filter table rows, right? So here, okay, we're creating a snapshot, right? And this is a common scenario across all the applications. We can filter the rows. For example, this is the column, and I want that the city, right? Okay, where city should be equal to say Mumbai, right? So only the city from Mumbai, right? They will actually get, we are just doing a filtering of the table and not the entire table. Okay, so this is filtering here. You can use that, but I'm doing cancel here. So no filtering. Create a snapshot immediately. So I want the snapshot to create it immediately. Okay. I can also schedule it. Okay. So normally in my environment, right, like what we had is that daily in the morning at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., okay, different snapshot publications were there. So we were creating this snapshot. Okay. So we had this scheduled to run daily at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and so on. Okay. You can schedule it also. But right now I'm just creating this snapshot here. And the agent, right? I mean, who will work on it? Okay, I'm saying that the SQL Server agent service, okay, will work on it. Normally, you run under the SQL Server agent service account only. You can also have your own IDs, okay, like different IDs, but normally we go with the SQL Server agent service. Create the publication. Also, I'll create the script file for this. Okay, create publication. Okay, some name. So let me do old TP01 to RPT01 underscore snapshot. Okay, just to remember, right? It's a snapshot, this one. Okay, any doubts so far, right?
No, Nikhil.
Right. Now, see, now created this snapshot, right? But it will fail. Okay, I know that because I didn't give you permission, right? Your what do you say? The place where you have to keep the snapshot files, I not given any permission. So your snapshot job will fail. Now, what will happen is, okay, if you want to go to see replication monitor, right? Always go on a publisher, and from there you go do a launch replication monitor. Okay, always go to a publisher and then go do a launch replication monitor. So you can see the error, right? So replication monitor, if you see here agents, right? There are different agents here: snapshot agent, log editor agent, and so on. Now I'm dealing with snapshot agent. Why snapshot agent? Because I told you, right? The snapshot is the first thing, okay, which will what it will do is it will take the entire data. It's a BCP out, okay. It will do a BCP out from a table to a flat file. Okay, so my snapshot agent is working right now, and it gives the error. Okay, what it says is connecting to publisher, connecting to distributor, login failed for SQL agent disk01. Now what is happening is login failed for user disk. Now publisher distributor is trying to connect to a publisher. Okay, but it doesn't have any I mean it's connect. See, SQL agent disk01, right? This is the ID. Okay, if you see my configuration. So my agent, right? See, I am not concerned with the SQL Server services, okay, for application. My agents are doing all the job, right? SQL Server agent job. I am concerned with this, especially the disk01. So this distributor 01, this agent is running under SQL agent disk01. This is my service account through which my agent is running, right? So this agent needs to connect to the publisher OLTP01, but it doesn't have access to connect to it. Okay. Why? Because I have not created the login. So what I'll do is I'll go to the OLTP01, my publisher, and I'll create the login. So let me copy it. So I give this and server role. Okay, okay. Now I'm so the requirement is that it needs to have a DB owner access here. Okay. I tried using read only before, okay, because I thought maybe just reading the data, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's put a DB reader, data reader. So my distributor is connecting to publisher with just a reader option. Okay, it will still give the error. So let me again start this. Okay, so what it says is the publisher login must be a member of DB owner role in the publisher database when generating a regular snapshot. So it says that since I have to do a BCP out, okay, I need a DB owner role. Now, I'm not sure, maybe read only is not sufficient. It needs a DB owner. Okay, so I need to give the DB owner access. So as you know, right, you always have to go with the least permissions, least privileges. Okay, never give a sysadmin. Okay, by default, always try with a smaller one and see where it's failing. Okay, and give and then increase the access. Okay, so yeah, it out.
Yeah, actually, we are creating the user on the OLTP to access the which distributor wanted to access, right?
Yes, now distributor is saying that okay, I want to do a BCP out of this table.
Okay.
Right? So it needs to connect to database, right?
Yes, yes.
So it needs to have the ID, and which ID? Since agent is doing all the work, the agent
Yeah.
needs to connect to the distributor, to publisher, right?
Okay, okay.
So always you have to see where we are creating the IDs, why we are creating, and what permission they have here, right? Don't create more IDs, don't create IDs with sysadmin. Okay, that's a very wrong thing that I have seen in many organizations. People don't understand, they just use sysadmin, and once it goes into production, right, people are scared to remove the sysadmin. They say, okay, what if it fails, right? So they never remove it, and then you have a big
Yes,
security
yes.
loophole, right? Okay, so while configuring only itself, you have to see which is the least privilege. Now it's saying that it needs a DB owner, and that's why I'm going with a DB owner. Otherwise, I was going with the reader.
Okay.
So DB owner, I give the permissions. So I'm able to connect to database now, but I'll have another error now because I have not given the permission to the shared folder. Okay. So now it's retrieving the data. See, now it started, right? Something. Retrieving the publication data, like it's seeing what table it is and so on, right? But it will fail. See, access to the path, triple data, this is denied because you're not given the permission, right? Who needs to, who, okay, tell me now, to whom I should give the permission? To which ID?
The service account of distributor.
Yes, that's correct. Because you understand the distributor is doing all the work, right? Distributor is selecting the data from the publisher and putting into a shared folder. So to put into a shared folder, right, the distributor needs access, right? So I go to properties, and I've seen many times that people are doing while sharing, right? They put everyone here. Okay, very wrong, very bad practice. Don't put everyone. You have to put the distributor. Okay, distributor is trying to put the data, right? You have to put the distributor ID here, add, and obviously it needs to read write, right? Because it wants to write the file. It's a read write access here. Are you clear on this? Because this is very important. Okay, this is for one time you're doing, but this is required for all the transitionals. Also, we have a snapshot, right? This is very important. Which permissions, where you have to give it. Okay, your folder is shared now. It has the access. Now, let me start it again. Okay, so now let's see. Ideally, you should not have the error issue now. Error now. You should have the BCP out. Okay, any doubts so far?
No,
Okay.
it's okay.
Started well copying. Okay. Let complete. Okay, snapshot of analytical generator. Okay. Now let's go to this folder and see what do we have here. Okay. So this folder is automatically created UNC, and then you go into this. It says that okay, this is like database server name and database name and so on, right? Go into this. You have the date, timestamp, and then you have all the files. Okay. You can see the BCP here. Okay. This BCP is nothing but this is a data. Okay. Encrypted data, something here, right? Something is there, but it's all data. Okay, you have multiple BCP files, but the most important thing, right, you have is this three files. Okay, the schema file. So schema file is nothing but
Okay.
can you go on mute this if you're not? Yeah, thank you. So since we have the drop table, right? You remember in the snapshot properties you have the drop table, right? That's why you have a drop table here. So on the destination, it will drop the table, okay, and it will create the table. Every time, okay, every time you are creating a snapshot, it will drop the table, it will create the table. But if you had a truncate table at that time, right, you will not have this. You will just have a truncate table option. That's it. Okay. So you have drop table, create table, and then what is this? This is free. It's also a drop table only, something. Okay. And then you have IDX file. This is the index file. Okay. So it's like a add constraint primary is adding a primary key and it's creating a unique non-cluster. Now this is there because we selected true, right? If we had selected false, this will not be there. Okay, so these three non-cluster indexes are getting created every time. As what we were discussing, right, Bharat? What we were discussing. This is what we have here. Okay, and then you have the BCP. Are you clear on this? The files, because this is very important, right? You should know about like what to read, where to read the snapshot files. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so now what has happened is in my here, right? The snapshot agent has worked and it has taken the data from publisher and put it into a flat file. Okay, till here we have completed. Okay, but now we have to take this data from here and we have to put it into a subscriber. Okay, in the reporting 01. So the distribution agent will come into place. Okay, when you define a subscription, so always remember subscription is equal to distribution agent. Okay. So when you are defining a subscription for it, so you have publication here. On the publisher, you can see the publication here. Okay. And then you create a new subscription, right? You're actually creating a distribution agent. Okay. So always there are two steps. One is the first step to copy the data from publisher to distributor, and second step of from distributor to subscriber. And distributor to subscriber is always done by a distribution agent. Okay, in snapshot and transactional replication, in merge replication, it's a merge agent. Okay, but that's a different story. But here it's a distribution agent that you have. Okay, let me create a database in my definition. So and by the way, you can have different database name also here, right? It's not necessary that you should have the same database name on the publisher and subscriber. You can have different database name here. Okay, so I'm putting the same for now. So let's define a subscription. Now it says publication. Now choose a publication. So I have this publication, right? Snapshot publication. Select this. Okay. I was talking about the push and pull, right? So here it is like where my the distribution agent should be present at which location. If it's a push subscription, my agent will run at the distributor. Run all agents at the distributor. Okay. If it's a pull subscription, run each agent at a subscriber. So normally, like if the subscriber is like, I mean, if a distributor is heavily loaded, and if you want subscriber to run the agent, then you can configure pull. But like in all the organizations wherever I've worked, right, we're using push only because it's a centralized place where you can go and you can troubleshoot, right? So normally we use push here. Okay. Subscriber. Okay, it asks for subscriber. Who should my subscriber? I add the server as RPT01. This is my subscriber. Okay, and database name here, right? So as you can see here, I can also change and I can put the database name as different here. It's not necessary the database name should be same. Okay, next. And the security, right? Who should be running it? Normally we give this SQL Server agent service account. Okay, the agent itself is doing all the work. Select this, next. And schedule, okay, run continuously. So you can see, so in my environment, right, in previous environment, like we had almost like how much? I think 200 publications, okay, like or 150 plus publications we had. So we were not having this continuously because in that scenario, right, all the distribution agents will be running continuously, and they'll like we'll have a lot of issues with the threads. There are limited threads that we should have it. So we can have a schedule, okay, like we can have it like run every 2 minutes, run every 5 minutes, and so on. Okay. For right now, I'm just putting it run continuously. And says initialize subscription. Guys, let me know if I'm going very fast, okay? Because we have to cover a lot of things, so that's why I'm going a little fast. But if you have any doubts, right, just ask me, okay? Initialize subscriptions. So I say whether I have to initialize subscription. Initialize in the sense, if you have to take the snapshot now and then you have to apply it on the publisher, on the subscriber, I say yes, I want to initialize now. Means the snapshot will be applied now, okay, to the subscriber. So I put this, next. Create subscription, and also I'll just have this created. Okay, so okay, any doubts so far in creating subscription?
No, Nikhil.
Fine, right? Okay. So this is created publication, and inside that you can see this one, right? Subscription. Now, if you have multiple publications, right, the best way to see about like which of one of them is what, right, is like this photo. Okay. So this is a camera here. You can see the camera photo here. It means it's a snapshot. Okay. For transaction replication, it will be something different. The icon is different. So from there you can understand which one is snapshot, which one is which one is transactional and snapshot, so on. So now I create a subscription. It means my distribution agent is also created now. So I go here and my distribution, see, if I go to agent, right, I don't see the distribution agent here because the distribution agent is present in this second tab here. Okay. This is like it specifies all the distribution agents. Okay. So the log reader agent, your snapshot agent, you will see it here in the agent. But the distribution agent you will see in the subscription watch list. Okay. And I go to snapshot subscription because my snapshot application, right? I go to snapshot and I see this error. Okay. Can anyone tell me why is this error without looking into it? Okay. What is this error here? Any wild guess? Nobody?
Maybe this, yeah, maybe the service account is different from the previous one.
No.
Which we given permission.
No. Okay. Understand now. See, this is, it's all logical. Okay. I mean, there's nothing to, when you have to understand, you have to consider yourself as a distributor. Okay. In replication, if you consider yourself as a distributor, your life will be very simple. Now consider that you are present here. Okay. You're the distributor here, and you're taken the data. You have the flat file. Now you're trying to insert data into subscriber, but I should have permission to insert into subscriber, right? Because I am inserting the data into subscription database, I should have permission to insert it.
You mean for the REPL distributor, you did not give enough permissions, Nikhil?
Exactly. I just give the permission to the publisher to get the data, but I didn't give permission to insert the data in subscriber.
Yeah, we usually give sysadmin everywhere, like for distributor admission. So
we don't understand actually. That's the problem. Okay. You don't understand. You give sysad, all the service account everywhere. You just give sysadmin everywhere, and then you don't see the error anywhere. You are all are happy. But when there's attack, right? Definitely, then all will come to the DBAs. Why you had opened? Why you had sysadmin? Okay. So I want to copy the data, or I want to do a BCP in. Okay, from this flat file to a distribution database. And if I go here, right, the process could not connect to subscriber MyBC RPD01. See, login failed for, and now this is a distributor because distributor is doing all the work, right? So distributor is not able to connect to the subscriber. Okay, let me go ahead and give the permissions, the least permissions I can give, right? So let me go into the RPD database and create the login. Okay, and say I am not giving sysadmin anywhere. Okay, till now you have seen I am not giving sysadmin anywhere. I go to user mapping in this database, right? Destination. Okay, now I'm thinking what it wants, right? It just wants a data writer because it wants to write the data, and DDL admin because it wants to create a table, right? And okay, if you're doing this, then let's just put reader also here. Let me put this three. Normally, it always we go with this three option, right? Reader, writer, and DDL admin, right? I am not giving DB owner right now because I want to give the list permission. Okay, let me click on OK, and let me again run it. Stop synchronizing, again start synchronizing. Okay, so okay, only members of the sysadmin fixed server role or DB owner fixed database role can perform this operation. Content administrator with sufficient permission. So it is saying that it needs a sysadmin or a DB owner. Okay. Now I am not sure why it wants a DB owner. It should have done with that DDL writer, right? DDL admin. But maybe there is something else. Okay, maybe it's doing something else and it wants a DB owner. So I'll give DB owner. I'll not give sysadmin here. Okay, so let me go. And this is my RPT01. Okay, DB owner, I'll remove this. Okay. And let me run this. Okay, now let's see. Okay, we started, right? You can see. So this is a, so now I'm sure that I have the least permissions everywhere. I started with the least permission and then kept on increasing my permission. Not given sysadmin anywhere. And now if I go into this table in the destination, you can see the table here, address table. Okay. Any doubts in this snapshot application?
So Nikhil, as I understand, what we did, we just provided the DB owner permission of the service account of distributor on both publisher as well as report server, right?
Exactly. And also the distribute and on this shared folder, we gave the read write permission. Okay, the minimum which is required. Don't give sysadmin access.
Okay. And what about the one that we created in starting, the distributor underscore admin? What
Yes.
about that account?
So distributor underscore admin. So what this distributor underscore admin is doing is this is created here. This is
Yeah.
created on the distributor, right? So obviously this is the ID which other servers are using to connect to distributor, right? So
Okay.
publisher is using this to connect to the distributor. And why? We will see that in transaction replication. In snapshot it was not required, but by default it comes with this. But I don't believe in snapshot we require this. In transactional replication, definitely we require this. Why? No, okay, we require, why? Because I tell you, whenever we did this, right? Snapshot application, this all these things, right? Bulk copying, everything is stored. This is logging, right? That is stored. This is stored in this database, in the distribution database. Okay. So if we have to store this information, right, it needs to have permissions. And it uses permission. It uses this ID to insert data into this database.
Okay.
It will be more clear when you configure transaction replication, right? At that time, it will be more clear about this ID. Okay. So let's start with the transaction replication, which is the main thing, right? I mean, this is the main thing which you have, right, in our environment, and that's why we have all the issues. So let's start with this. I go to publisher. I create same thing, right? Transaction publication here. Next, and this requires that you should have primary key. Okay, that's the requirement of the transaction publication. So let me take another table, like say Sales. Okay, how big is the table? Customer sales. How is this? This is right. No. And this is this person. You don't want a big table, right? Otherwise, I don't see this table. Anyways, okay, let's do this. Customer sales table. It out?
Yeah, actually, if we do on a big table, we can do the things like only some rows only we wanted to replicate like that, and we can use. That scenario I was asked was some question as in an interview. That's why I just wanted to know that.
Okay, so let's go with this. Okay, now if you want customer sales, okay, so customer is a table, sales of customer. Let me first see the data, okay, because we want to do the what do you say? We want to first see the data, right? If you have to filter it, so select wrong. What was that? Sales of customer. So this is like 19,820 records, and how do I do it? Okay, this is not a good table. Table. Let me take person. Okay. Here we'll have some CTUT something, right? Okay, we have first name, this, and demographics. Okay, let's do. Okay, just have first name. Okay, let's do where first name like all the ones which are starting with A. Okay, 2014 record. Okay, and out of say 20,000 records, 2,000 records are the ones which are first name like A. Okay, so let's do this. That's what we wanted, right? Rituraj or Satya? Who was it?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, so let's do person.person. Okay, and then see the properties of it. It's a transactional publication, right? So now see the properties of it. Most of them are the same. Okay, like if you see here, right? Same thing, cluster index, non-cluster. So let me make this as a true, non-cluster indexes. Compare, insert, update, delete, sort procedure. This all these are same. Here also same, right? Action if name is in use. So you can change this. Okay, same thing what we had in snapshot. I'm not going in detail now. Okay, one thing which is there, destination object name, destination object owner. You can change this. Okay, the destination schema and destination table name can be changed here. So if I want something like person underscore say report or person underscore new, whatever, right? Then we can have it. Okay, so it doesn't require that the table name and schema name has to be same as your publisher. Okay, and one thing which is very important here in transactional replication is this three stored procedures. MSNs, this is for insert stored procedure, update, and delete stored procedure. Okay, so this is the stored procedures which are created on the subscriber. Okay, what happens is whatever transactions which are happening on the publisher, okay, the same transactions are getting replicated, but while inserting the data in subscriber, it uses this stored procedures. Okay, for insert, for update, and for delete. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, how it is being used. So let's use this. Okay, and next filter, right? Let's add this filter. Where? So where? What was my where? Where first name like this. Okay, so I'm doing this. Select publish columns from this where first name like this. Now here I can also change this, and I can only put few of the columns. Okay, this is called, and this I'm doing a row filtering, and this is I can do a column filtering also here. I do not want all the columns. Okay, I can do it here, and also I can do it before also. So I'll tell you how can you do a row filtering. This is a row filtering which I did. Okay, but if you go back, right, here I had specified person. If you click on plus, these are the columns which I am doing a replication. I can remove it. For example, if I don't want, say, demographics, okay, I can remove this. So this will not go to the subscriber. This will not be there in the publication. Okay, so this is called a column filtering, and what we did in the next screen was row filtering. So many times we have seen that if you have SSN column or the NPPI columns, right, like which should not be revealed to the reporting environment, we remove that. We remove those columns in the replication. Okay, so this is a vertical filtering we did, column filtering, and then you also have filtered tables here, right, where first name like this. Okay, next. And snapshot agent. Okay, so see, for transactional also, as I mentioned, right, for transactional also you have, for transactional replication also you have snapshot agent, because initially it has to do a sync of both the tables, right? It runs a snapshot. Okay, so this is a snapshot which it will create immediately, and normally we don't schedule it for transactional. So security, run under security agent service, create a publication. Let me generate a script file. Okay, so this was whichever person, right? Okay, so OLTP01 01 underscore trans. Let me put this here. The transaction application. Okay, any doubts so far?
No,
Okay.
Nick.
Yeah, starting a snapshot agent, right? So it started creating a snapshot. So if you go into the snapshot agent, see you have one more snapshot agent now, which is this one, trans. Okay, this is transaction application. So why is it giving red here? Oh, it was old red. Okay. Oh, no, it still has a red. Okay, I think maybe some permission issues in that. Let's see. So, okay, so it's done the bulk copied snapshot data, and it's doing this. What is this error? Okay, I'm not sure. But right now, this is generating the data. Okay, so completed. So if you see here, snapshot of one article unit. So this is same as what we have in the snapshot, right? So if you go to snapshot folder, okay, you'll have one more with the new publication name here, right? OLTP01 RPT01 trans. This is the publication name here. If you go under this, you have the person table and all the schema files and everything, right? The same thing what we saw. Okay, so snapshot agent is done now. See, the log editor agent is giving the problem. You do not have permission. The person could not execute SP representatives on OLTP01.
I think it is missing the permission of the DBO.
DBO, right? But I give the permission, right? So just log in. Okay, remote. No, it had the permission. Sorry, simple. Is it okay. Okay, still being there. You know why? You know why? This is the error which I got some time back. Okay, I remember right now. The database that you have created, right? This one, it doesn't have. Well, I just restored database. Okay, it doesn't have a owner. Okay, if you see the owner, it doesn't have a owner, and that's why it's giving the error. So let me give a SA owner to it. Okay, and now I think it should be resolved. So I remember this. I had saw this error long time back. Good that you are seeing the error, right? You at least know how to resolve. See, it's done. Okay, so the log header agent. Okay, so now, so you have created there are two agents which are created right now. You can see the log header agent and you can see the snapshot agent. Now, if you see the architecture right here, see for transactional replication, you have snapshot agent and log header agent. So they both are working on the publisher, right? What does log header agent does? It connects to the log file of the publisher because all the transactions are stored in the log file, right? So it connects, the log header agent connects to the log file of the publisher and gets all the transactions. Okay, and puts it into the distribution database. Okay, so these two are connecting to the publisher, and this one is to connect to subscriber. So understand this everywhere, right? Everywhere, wherever you have distribution agent is always between a distributor and subscriber. Okay, so you see this distribution agent is always between a distributor and subscriber. You have the log header agent and snapshot agent between a publisher and distributor. You to understand where the agents are located, where it is working. Because if you have issue with the log header agent, you should not go and check subscriber, or you have to see like in publisher the connectivity to publisher. Okay, so this is very important here. Okay, so now the data is stored in the distribution database. Now what happened is that the data snapshot was taken. Okay, right now we just have a snapshot here. Okay, and this has to go into the subscriber, right? So let's create a subscription for it. So you have this publication, a new subscription, and you specify which publication. This is a trans publication. Same push adds our subscriber and specifying the RPD01, right? Next connection. This. Let me know if I'm going fast. Okay. Next. Distributor run continuously. Let it run continuously. And initialize, because I want to initialize subscription, right? Let me go with this. Okay, subscription, generate a SQL file, new subscription, finish. So I'm creating a distribution agent now. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show this, in the distributor, right? You have all your, see, you have the REPL snapshot. Okay, this is the snapshot agent. Okay, in the background you have the snapshot, you have the job, right? This is a snapshot job for the snapshot agent, and this is the transactional. Okay, this is the snapshot job for transaction replication. This is log literary job. So everything, whatever I say, right, the agents, everything is being done from the job. So all the jobs that are working behind the scene. Okay, and then there are two distribution. One is for snapshot and one is for transactional. Yeah. You see here snapshot and trans. So the name also is there. Snapshot and trans. This is my publication name here. Okay. So created, and let me go and see the. So tell me, where should I see the distribution agent? Yeah.
And subscription.
Yes. So subscription watch list, very good. But here also you have to select, right, which one of them. Okay. Now I want to do a transactional replication. Okay. So I'll see in transactional. So I'm seeing only one. In the previous scenario, I was seeing that in the snapshot subscription because it's a snapshot application, right? The snapshot application you can see here, and for transaction you can see here. So if you see here, right, and that's why I put the name publication name as trans under to better understand. Okay. So double click on this. What did it delivered the snapshot from this particular shared location, okay, and bulk copy data into table person. So in reporting you have the table. Now how many records? Let's see, because we did a filtering, right? So let me go and see. You have the table. Now let me copy this and connect to the reporting environment. Okay, RPT01. See 2014, right? We didn't copy 20,000 records. We copied only 2014 records, which is starting from A. So Rituraj, you understood, right? How do we do the filtering?
Yes.
So filtering is always done on the publication. On a subscription, you don't do anything. Okay, subscription is whatever the data is there in the publication in the distribution database, right? You're just taking that data into subscriber, right? All the changes or whatever that you need to do the filtering, row filtering or column filtering, or you want to do also copy the non-cluster indexes. You also want to do a truncate table instead of a drop table. Everything, all this configuration is done while creating a publication. Okay, by creating subscription, there is not much to do there. Is it clear with this?
Yes.
Yes,
So that means we can. I mean, if we want to modify any data on the subscriber, we need to add that rule in the publisher itself, not in the subscriber.
I didn't get you. Can you repeat?
Yeah. I mean, if you, I mean, if you want to do any data modification in the subscriber, we need to add that rule in the publisher itself, not in the subscriber.
Ha, exactly. Exactly. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
how do we want the data to be replicated? All this information you have to specify in the publication while creating a publication.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's do some transaction and let's see how it moves forward. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the main thing I wanted to tell you about the difference between a transaction and a command, okay, which is very important to understand how data is moving. So it's always okay. I had to use this. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me change the first name, or let me see the last name. Okay. So like how many data is coming? 63 rows. Okay. So I have 63 rows which are like starting from first name is starting with A and ending with and the last name is starting with T. Okay. So let me change. Let me do an update. Okay. This is I'm doing it on publisher. Okay. at last name, or not last name, not change the last name, we'll change the date, modified date. Modified date equal to get date. This. Okay, now tell me how many transitions I'm doing in this. How many transactions is this?
63.
Okay, one more try. Okay, this is one transaction with 63 records. Okay, you know about ACID property, right? So if I'm running this, okay, if there is some error somewhere in between, it will be all or nothing. Okay, it's a one transaction. So either all the 63 records get updated or none of them. Okay, this is a one transaction. Transaction in the sense like what? Everything will be done together or none of them will be done. You understood this? No. A transaction means that all the records are getting updated at the same time. Okay, you have this begin tran and commit tran, right? You know about this, right? Let me do one thing. Let me also do something. Last name like C. Now consider this. You are doing a begin tran and you're doing the two update statements and doing commit tran. Okay. Now this is a one transaction. You are starting a transaction here. Okay. Now everything will be done together or none of them will be done. Okay. Like for example, this will also get updated and this will also get updated and then we'll do a commit tran. Otherwise, all of them will get rolled back. This is a normal database scenario. Okay, it's not about replication. It's a normal ACID property of the database. Okay, so we have a transaction here, one transaction which is doing this too. Okay, let's not confuse this with two transactions. Let us have only one transaction. So let me remove this. Let me remove this also. Now this is a one transaction with 63 records. Okay, so when I'm running this, at one time only I'm getting 63 rows affected. There's only one transition which is happening here. Here with this, only then you'll understand about how replication works. So Rituraj, Satya, Bharat.
Yeah, Nikhil.
Okay, what about Rituraj, Satya?
Yeah, Nikhil.
Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so one transaction is doing all 63 records. Okay, now we'll see how it is moved into the replication. If you go into replication, right? So let me go here, and there's a way how you have to see. Okay, you go to transaction subscription, you see here, right? When you double click on this, you see two of them tab here, right? Publisher to distributor and distributor subscriber. And tell me which are the agents who are here.
So in order to get the data replicated, you need to go and check the distributor to subscriber.
Yes, but that's only half story. Okay.
Yeah.
Publisher distributor is something which is the log editor agent. So this is the log editor
Right.
which is running here. This is the distribution agent which is running. Okay. This is very important. Okay, guys. If you don't understand this, you will not be able to resolve. I mean, you will get confused while resolving these issues, transition replication issues. So when you click, so okay, let me go into the agent and let me see log editor agent. Okay. Now if I click on this, okay, now it's gone. The data is gone. But now this is the log editor agent of AdventureWorks 2019. So this is the same thing what you see here. Okay, this is the same. So this publisher to distributor history and this is the same. Both of them are same. Okay, this is a log editor agent which is running, which is there between a publisher and a distributor. Okay, so if you see here, right, this is a log editor agent. It pulls the data from publisher to distributor, and then the distribution agent pulls the data from distributor to subscriber. Okay, you guys, you have to understand that if you have issues with the replication, okay, people always go and see this distributor subscriber, and then they see no replicated transactions. Everything is fine. Okay, but they don't see this part. You have to also see that data is whether coming to distributor or not. So it may happen that, for example, okay, let me see. Let me do one thing. Let me go to the log editor agent and stop it. Okay, the log editor agent is not running right now, and I do some say 43 rows, right? So I did a transaction. There's a transaction which happened on the publisher. Okay, 43 rows affected. Okay, you go and you see here subscription, distributor subscriber history. You see no replicated transactions are available. People are shouting that the data is not replicated to subscriber. You come here, you see that, oh, there's no problem here. There's no problem with replication. Okay, this is only a half story. You are only seeing from distributor to subscriber, but the data itself has not moved from publisher to distributor because your log editor agent is stopped.
Because you said that one schedule, right, Nikhil?
Yes, I mean right now I have stopped it. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you see here, oh, the log editor agent is still stopped. Right, you go and start it, and then you are able to see the data here. Then the data moves. Okay, so always whenever you have a problem with transactional replication, you have to see both of them, the log editor agent as well as the distribution agent. It's very important. Are you clear on this?
Yes, Nikhil.
Fine, right? Okay, now I'll tell you about the transactions and commands. Okay, now what we did is you did one transaction with 43 rows affected. You can see here. Okay, it's very small. I'm not sure how to zoom it, but you can see here, right? 43 rows affected. Okay, so in one transaction, all the 43 rows got changed. Now, when you okay, let me start this log editor agent. So start agent. So when you start this, you see one transaction with 43 commands. Now, why is this? Can anyone tell me? There's one transaction I remember. I know. Why are there 43 commands? And same here. If you go to subscription, you see one transaction with 43 commands delivered.
I mean, for every update row, it is delivering a command
Exactly. Good one. So one transaction in OLTP is equal to one transaction in reporting, for example. Okay, and or maybe I can say publisher here. Let me just put publisher. "43 records in publisher is equal to 43 commands in subscriber." Okay, transaction is same. There's only one transaction here, right? One transaction, but 43 records which have got updated here, that changed to 43 commands. 43 commands mean what? Each of the records has its own update statement. Okay, so basically you did this right here. What was the? So basically it was like first name this and last name this, right? And primary key is say I think there's a primary key, I think business entity ID. So what exactly happened is on the subscriber, update person set modified date equal to get date, where business entity ID equal to this. Okay, this is one command. Then second command, this is first command. Second command. Where so on. So you can see here on the subscriber, each of the records are getting updated one by one till 43 records. Are you clear on this? Each of the records are changed to single command. This is the one command, this is the second command. The 43 records, 43 commands are there. That's why it says 43. Okay, now consider instead of 43 records, 1 million records. We are changing in publisher. We will have 1 million commands. Imagine 1 million individual update statements happening on the subscriber. Okay, here everything is done at once. In one transaction, everything, all 1 million records are getting updated, but in subscriber, it will be done one by one, 1 million times. You see the difference between that, publisher and subscriber? And that's the reason why your application is slow. This is how the architecture of application is. That's why you see that OLTP publisher, there is hardly any problem with the performance, but in subscriber, you always see latency because all these records, right, they are changing single command. Yeah, get out.
Is there a way like we can overcome this one, or this is the architectural that's thing will happen for sure?
Unfortunately, this is the architecture.
Okay. Okay.
I also don't. I mean, I was also surprised when I learnt about it. Right? Okay, there are so many commands. Okay, but there's a workaround.
Yes, sir.
There's a workaround for that. Yes.
Okay.
That we'll see in the stored procedures when you get the stored procedures inside the the replication. At that time, we can overcome that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there is a workaround for that. But you understand this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Imagine, and 1 million is very small. Okay, in real environment, you get millions and millions of records gets updated, inserted, deleted, right? These three things.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why you see the distributor agent has to work so much, right? Distribution, this server has to be a very good CPU memory with good storage because this database will grow, right? Now, okay, now let's go into the internals. Okay, you understood this, right? Then I'll go into internals about how I came to know about this. Like, how did this there were 43 records, right, which got changed now. So how did I know that these are 43 different update statements which are going? Okay, I'll tell you how I found it. So let me go into this. So everything is in distributor. Okay, so distributor, there are two tables which are very important where the transitions are going. Okay, one table is MS REPL underscore transactions. Okay. And the other is MS REPL underscore commands. Okay. So this is a transaction. Okay. So now, for example, what you saw here, right? One transaction. So for each transaction, there is one record in this table. Okay. So you see the latest which I did in 2058. Okay. This is the particular the transaction sequence number. Okay. So this is the transaction sequence number. So one transaction with this particular number, and we'll find out equal to. So one transaction in this is changing to 43 commands. You can see 43 rows, right? So one transaction and then 43 commands. So each one of them, this is a command. Okay, each one of
Okay.
them actually is this one, which I show, right? This command is basically this. Second command is basically this, and so
Okay.
on. Imagine now 1 million records for only one transaction. This is taking. Again, 1 million records, 2 million, 3 million records. This table it grows huge. MS triple command.
Yeah, we have one distribution database which is around 3 TB, and it is keep going on. Like,
Check this.
what are the steps we can do to maintain that one?
So for that, right, you have.
Yeah.
If you go here, not here, sorry. Where was it? Okay, sorry. It's in job. Okay. In the job, when you have this, right, distribution cleanup.
Yeah.
What is it doing?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
job is
Yeah.
actually cleaning up this table. MS transactions,
Yes.
MS REPL command. And how is it doing? Depending upon your retention, or what do you say?
Yes.
Your configuration, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
distributor properties here. So this is the one. Okay, how much retention you want to have? History retention 48 hours. Transition retention 72 hours. You can change this.
Okay.
Okay, so if you change it, right, now it has data of 72 records, 72 hours. Okay, so whatever transition which has happened 72 hours before, that's still in your database.
Okay.
That's why it's increasing, right? 3 terabytes. Change it to 48.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, your all data will be, so your size will be less than.
Okay then. Okay.
But you also have to see that 48, right? Whatever changing,
Yes.
48. So if your application is stopped, okay,
Yes.
for 48 hours due to some issue, right? Then
Yes. Yes. If there is any issue, we will lose the data. Yes.
so whenever you have the issue, right? First thing
Yes.
you have to do is you have to go and disable this job.
Okay.
Don't run this job until your this is completed. The sync is completed. Otherwise,
Yes.
you
Yes.
will lose your old data.
Yes.
I told you this is very important job, distribution cleanup.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now you will say that, okay, this is the command, but how do I see the command? I want to see what exactly is there inside this command. Okay, this is a binary file or binary data. There is a stored procedure for this. sp underscore
Good.
REPL, no, sp underscore browse REPL cmds. Okay, then let me find out the parameters for this. Yes, this is the sequence number start. For example, this is the sequence number start, right? I want this. This is my a sequence number, then, and then you also have different one, right? For different articles, you can find it out. For different database, you can find it out. But I want to find out from the sequence number. Okay. Now I'm telling it that I want to browse the commands which are in this particular transaction. Okay.
Okay.
I run this. The named path does not identify valid. What is it?
LSN.
Wait, what is it? That's end. Why is it given this error? The name mark does not identify valid LSN. Okay, not sure why it's giving the error. But normally you can see the commands from this, okay? Maybe I put something wrong. Okay, let me see the other one if you can see anything. This one. Oh, there's some problem here.
We need to supply all the parameters. Can we supply only one and we'll check for that?
Can go with this only. Okay, let me do only start. Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
Start equal to. Normally I always do this. So why is giving the error? Main mark does not identify LDS. Okay, I'll have to search for it. I'll see that. Okay. Okay, maybe yeah, this is known issue. Maybe there's some configuration, some problem. To be update soon. Wow.
Oh.
Anyways, I mean, with this statement, right, we can find it out. Okay, I'll paste this chat window. Maybe there's somewhere some problem here. Okay, I'll see that later. And then you have to provide the start number, end number. You'll actually see that update statement for each of that. The commands for each of the records. Okay. Any doubts in transactional replication so far?
Fine as of now.
Nikhil, so I have a question. So sometimes it happens that there are a lot of pending transactions to subscriber. So yeah, so in that case, what step do we need to take?
Yes. So what happens is, like for example, if you are where is application monitor? I stopped it. But transaction subscription, right? So right now I am seeing no replicated transactions because there is nothing, right? I mean, this is just a test environment. But in production, in undistributed commands, right, you will see like millions of records sometimes. Okay, millions of commands which are waiting here. Okay, so first of all, so this is the one. It means that the data is not flowing from distributor to subscriber. Okay, from distributor to subscriber it's not moving. So in subscriber there is some problem. Maximum time I have seen that there is a blocking. Okay, because ultimately it's doing some transactions, right, on subscriber. So in subscriber, you have to go into subscriber. So first of all, you have to find out like where exactly. Okay, now if your logger agent is itself running for long, it says that okay, it's still running. Okay, it's reading the data and so on. And here you can see that there is no replicated transactions. It means that the log editor, there are a lot of transactions which happen on the publisher, and log editor agent is reading the data. Okay, at that time, I mean, so it's only between the publisher and distributor, right? So at that time, maybe you can just lower the. I mean, you can see that how you can improve the performance of the distributor, right? Maybe stop the stop the cleanup job, distribution cleanup job, and stop any other commands which are running on the distributor, right? So it improves the performance. Okay, this is for log editor agent. And once it, yeah, and once it's into here, right? And then you see that okay, it's still running, and then it's giving the error. Okay, so many transitions moved, and then it's still running and running, you see high commands here. At that time, the first thing is see the blocking on the distributor, sorry, on the reporting environment, right? And also you have to find out which is the procedure, which is the SPID. So if I see, or let me do one thing. So here I can see all this one, right? And okay, so right now it's not running because I can't see anything. But from here maybe I'll see it. You have to find the SPID, okay, which is running that particular distribution agent, and then you have to see like which is the wait type, whether it's blocked or not, right? Whether it's so it's a typical performance issue, okay, on the subscriber. So you normally have a semaphore issue, okay, resource semaphore issue. That's what we were seeing in the subscriber, okay, like whatever the SPID was there, right, which was running this distribution agent, we used to have resource semaphore, okay, resource semaphore wait type. It means that we had less memory on the subscriber. So what we used to do is we used to stop all of the publications. Okay, we used to, so for example, here we have like say 100 publications here, right? So we used to stop all of them, and then we used to let only this run because we want more memory on the subscriber, right? Also, we used to see that okay, if we can kill any job which are running for very high time, and it's just normal performance troubleshooting that you do. Okay, so whenever you see this, that undistributed commands are high, the first thing is that you have to go and see in the subscriber what is happening in subscriber, why is it taking so much time for insertion, and then we do the performance tuning in subscriber. Okay.
Okay.
I'm able to answer.
And this also happens if someone accidentally inserts some data in reporting site, and it will not proceed the next row. That will also be an issue.
So we'll have the error, right? We'll get the error.
I mean, sometimes the distribution commands will be more as well. Because of that, it will show which record, thing that needs to be deleted and things.
Exactly. So the most common error that you see, right, is a primary key violation error. You know about this? Like how to resolve that?
No.
This is the in my I mean whatever I have worked right in replication, 80-90% of time I see this error. Okay, apart from the latency issues that you normally see, right? When the replication stops running, okay, how do we get this primary key violation error? So what happens is, let's see, let's go to OLTP 01. Let's just stop everything. It's this 01, this RPT 01, this is OLTP 01. Okay. So let me your personal data. Okay. So let's do one thing. So what happens is you did an insert on the publisher, okay, but the same data already exists on the subscriber for some reason, okay. So when the replication wants to insert the data on the subscriber, it gives a primary key violation error because the data is already present on subscriber. Okay. What do we say? Okay, let's do one thing. Let me insert a record here. Which level it is? First insert. How do I do this? Okay, I'm just I need to find all the. Okay, it will take some time to do this. But did you understand like what exactly I'm trying to say? That you are inserting data. Okay, insert into person.person. Okay, and then you're putting some values like business entity ID is like say example 10,000. Okay, and something that you have data. Okay, this data is already present on the reporting. On the reporting, this data is already present here. So what will happen is once you insert the data in here, right, in publisher, the application will try to copy the data on the subscriber. But subscriber, the data is already present, and it will give the primary key violation error. Okay. Let me. Me understood, or I should give the demo for that.
Nikhil, you can script the table data and get that insert and then insert there.
Do it, but it's like it's not
Oh yeah,
coming.
yeah.
File.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
The file. Do this. Insert. Oh, the version 16. Not
No.
the.
Go to the database, export, right click, database, export. Yeah, report. No. Tasks, export, tasks. Go to tasks.
Uh-huh.
No, export data. Just check the table. Next. No. I think this is wrong. I mean, can
Ah,
can you cancel it, Nikhil? Cancel it.
it is just moving.
I think we can go to tasks and then script out the component, with the data. Go to tasks and generate scripts. There is a component generate scripts. Generate scripts. Sorry, yeah, that's the one. So here you just
That
choose whatever table we need
but
with the data.
where is it will take some time, right? To- Okay, it's hung actually. Okay, till that time, any doubts?
Yes, so suppose in we have an existing replication
Mm-hmm.
going on, okay, and in that we need to add a new table.
Yes,
Uh, so how we can do that?
we'll do that. This is taking time. Let me stop it. Okay, let's do that later. Okay. Not sure why. Okay. So, for example, now there's an issue with this, right? Adding this table. Okay, so if you have this table, if you go to properties, okay, so I can see all this table. Okay, now you're saying that you want to add a table in the same publication, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I add an employee table here, okay, now I tell you the problem with this. Okay, now I do this employee table. Let us do this. Okay, employee table, and I do this. Okay, if I can do one more time. Okay, so it's included in this publication. Okay, the problem is it will not go through unless and until you create a snapshot of both the tables. Okay. See, you have both these tables now. You just selected this. But this table, okay. Why? Because the table needs to create a snapshot for that, right? Table needs to create a snapshot. What you do is go here, snapshot. I'll tell you the problem with this. When you create a snapshot. But here what happens is that snapshot of two articles are generated. Okay, you come. When you generate this, right, you will generate a snapshot of two tables, person and employee both. We also see what an employee.
తెల్లారగట్టలో అయితే ఖాళీగా ఉంటది తర్వాత
Hey, can you go on mute, please? Yeah. So here you are seeing that you are generating the snapshot for both person and employee, and this is the problem, right? Because your person is already like say millions of records. You don't want to create a snapshot for it again, right? Okay, two articles generated, and then you go and then you apply these two articles.
So I believe there's two properties, allow anonymous and
Yes.
immediate, I believe.
Exactly. Yes. We have to go and you have to change that. Okay, so 926. So you have deliver a snapshot. Okay. So what you have to do is I had copied this here. Not this thing. These are two commands here. Okay. So what you do is before actually you insert add an article. Okay, you have to go and you have to insert this. So you have to update this. Your publication name. So I'll go and I'll change, copy the name. Allow anonymous and immediate sync. These two commands has to be false. Okay, and run this on the publisher database. So I am running this on OLTP01. Okay, and this. Okay, now let me go and add a table and then let me see how it works. Okay, so but here you saw, right, there were two table snapshot was created. Now let me go and add one more table. So let this and let me add say currency. Okay, currency. Okay. Okay. Now if I go to agent, right, and run a snapshot agent for this, this is a snapshot agent. If I run this, I only see one article. See, only currency is there happening, right? The other two tables are not happening. Okay, so this two, yeah, see, currency is done. Snapshot of one article was generated. So we didn't generate for three articles, but we only generated for one article, which is a new one. Right? And this is like, these are the two commands which you have to run. Allow anonymous and immediate sync. Right? Are you clear on this?
Okay, okay. So we just need to execute, means we have to execute, run only snapshot agent. There's no need to run a log reader agent.
Yes. No. Why? Because I'll tell you. snapshot agent is initially when you create snapshot agent is nothing but complete table BCP in BCP out. So imagine that, right? So initially this is table is getting generated and it's going to the so snapshot agent creates a flat file, and then distribution agent copies the flat file to the subscriber, right? That's what we saw here, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what we saw here. So, but then after that, whatever changes are happening, right? That is what the log editor agent will come and then pick it up. Later on, the log editor agent will come. Whatever changes are happening on the publisher, the log editor agent will come and pick it up, and then it will deliver to subscriber.
Okay, okay. Because it's in running state. It's always a running state, right?
Right, right. So snapshot agent is only for start, and then it's not used in transactional replication. Then the log editor agent and distribution agent is being used.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have a latency issue, don't go and check the snapshot agent. Well, if that's not running, you have to go and check the log editor agent and distribution agent. Right? So here I mentioned you, right, that one transaction in publisher, one transaction, 43 records in publisher, 43 commands. Now imagine here we have 20 million records which are getting updated. Okay, you have 20 commands, 20 million commands. Imagine how much time will it take for each one of the record to get updated or inserted or deleted, right? So what you were saying right before, that is there a workaround? Yes, there is a workaround for that, and that is a stored procedure execution that you saw here. It can be used when large batch transactions are performed at the publication. Okay, that's what we were seeing, right? Only the procedure execution is replicated, bypassing the need to replicate the individual changes of each row. So you will bypass the individual changes. Okay, what we'll do is, now let's do the same thing. Okay, now you had I think this, right, 43 records. Yes. So you have this, for example, this is the command, right? And you already saw that there are 43 commands which got generated because of this, right? Let's create a stored procedure of sp underscore update person as this. So you're creating a stored procedure to update this, okay, on the publisher. Now what you will do is, you will go and you will add this stored procedure in a publication. Okay, so new publication. Let me create new publication. Transactional. Stored procedure. SP underscore update person, right? And in the article properties, right, you have to go select this, highlighted stored procedure, and you can see here replicate. What you have to replicate? I don't want to replicate the definition only, but I want to also replicate the execution of stored procedure. For example, the stored procedure execution. Okay, whatever I'm executing stored procedure, same procedure will get executed on a subscriber instead of individual records. Okay, so this you have to change it. Okay, execution of stored procedure. Do okay. You understood this, right? Any doubt in this? Because this is something different than what you are seeing in the table one. Okay.
Can you say again? I just missed.
Okay, so basically this is like normal transitional publication, right? Here you go and you select the stored procedure, okay, and then in stored procedure properties you go here and in replicate. What do you want to replicate in the stored procedure? You want to replicate the execution. So it means that if I am doing exec this on my publisher, The same thing will be done on my distributor or on my subscriber. Okay, I am actually replicating the execution and not the individual commands. Got it? Okay, you understand. Once we go right, then you'll understand this. So I have to do this execution of stored procedure. Next. So okay, it says that okay, the table, the underlying tables, right? It needs to be present on the subscriber, that we already have it. Okay, so next. Snapshot immediately. Let's do this. This is like just like a normal one, okay? Nothing different here. Create the publication. Let me put it like OLTP01 or PT01 stands _SP. Okay. And then let me go and create a subscription for it. The subscription at subscriber IPD01. This is same as what we were doing before, right? If I'm just going fast and continuously create subscription. Finish. Okay, so now let me go and check the snapshot agent. Completed. Okay, snapshot agent is completed. Snapshot in the snapshot, we just have the stored procedure. Okay, like the definition of that. We don't have anything else. And here also we have it. Okay, now in the subscriber, we will have the stored procedure. So in reporting 01, if you go into programmability, see SQL complete person. So this stored procedure got first of all due to snapshot, right? This stored procedure came on the reporting environment of the subscriber. Okay. Now the main thing starts. Now you know, right? Before when I did this, there were 43 commands which got created, right? Because there are 43 records. But instead of this, I am just running the stored procedure here on my OLTP01. Okay. So 43 rows affected here. And if I go here, see, one transaction with one command is delivered. You can see here that actually the 43 commands, initially we had seen 43 commands were delivered, right? 43 rows were there. Now only one command. And this one command is nothing but exec SQL_update person. So this execution goes into this here and then it got executed on the reporting environment. You understood this? If you see here,
Yes.
the subscriber, you can see the current time 21:45 now, right? 9:46. The modified date. So this all got updated, but there were not 43 individual commands, but there was only one command, and that was the execution of the stored procedure, which got replicated. Okay, and that also you can see it from the MS Repl transaction. So if you see here, the latest transaction number, right? This one, only one command. In the MS Repl commands, you can see only one command, and that is the update calling the stored procedure. Now, let me see if it can come here. Same error. Not sure why this is coming. But ideally, when you run this, right, you will see that particular execute stored procedure that you will see. Okay, understood this? Any doubts in this? Because this is something which people don't use it. Okay, the only problem here is that the underlying table, right? For example, if you have a stored procedure, they're doing update this table, insert into second table, delete something, select from something, this and that. All this table has to be present on the subscriber. Only then the stored procedure can run on the subscriber, right? Okay, so for normal stored procedures, we don't do it. But if you're doing something like, okay, and for example, I had a scenario. Okay, I'll give a case study. We had this same issue. There was a requirement from the government. Okay, different this one, that we had to delete older than 10 years data from our OLTP system. Okay, and then we had millions and millions of records. So if we do it one by one, right, then there will be millions of records which will get replicated to the reporting environment. So what we can do is we can create a stored procedure which will delete the data, whatever we want, right? And then what will happen is that data will get deleted on the subscriber also. Without actually moving the data, we are just replicating the execution of the stored procedure. Okay. So this is something, a scenario which you can use it, but only for testing. Then you can use it in production. Any doubt? Fine, right? Okay. Then subscription with replication support only. Okay, now this is very important when you're doing a migration. Okay, so I think someone was asking, right, like how do we do the migration and so on. Okay, so one of the options that you can do is this option. Now how do you do it? Okay, so basically if I new subscription, so this is the script. Okay. Now when you are creating a subscription, right, at the background you are creating these you are running these two sort procedures, fp add subscription and fp add push subscription agent. Okay, and it's creating the agent, distribution agent, and so on, right? And then it specifies like your publication name, subscriber name, destination database, and all that stuff, right? Okay, so this is how your subscription. So basically the ones which you created, right, the down one, okay, this subscription, this subscription basically which you created, the subscription is nothing but you created using these two particular sort procedures. Okay, now here there is one very important parameter here is sync type. Okay, sync type is equal to automatic. Now what do you mean by this? Okay, if we go into this sort procedure, okay, it adds a subscription to a publication. Okay, so here, and then you have all this thing, right? Sync type. Okay, this is very important parameter that you should know. Automatic, which is a default. Okay, it does a schema and initial data for published tables. So you saw, right, initially whenever we were creating a subscription, the snapshot, okay, we were generating the snapshot and we were applying it to the subscriber, right? But now consider a scenario where you are doing a migration. Okay, you already have your publisher, like for example, or this one. Okay, so here you are changing your publisher. You're migrating a publisher to a new server altogether. Okay. Now what happens is your publisher and subscriber are already in sync. You have like 100 publications involving 1000 tables, involving billions of records. Okay, they are already in public, already is going on. Okay, the sync is going on, life is good. But now the problem is like you have to do a migration of a publisher from this server to a new server altogether. Okay, now when you go and create your publisher, new publisher, when you create a publication, it will ask for a snapshot. Okay, and then again for all those 1000 publications or tables, so many billion records, right? It will create a snapshot, it will generate snapshot, it will apply it, and then subscribe. I mean, it will be a huge problem, right? So many data, you have to again sync it up from new publisher to subscriber, right? So what you do is you avoid creating the snapshot. Okay, how will you avoid? When you use this particular value. Okay, this particular value. So what it says is assume that a subscriber already has a schema and initial data for published tables. Okay, it will not do the snapshot. When you use this command, it will not do the snapshot from the new publisher. Do you are understanding like what I'm trying to say? So whenever you create a subscription, okay, if you create this with a replication support only, at that time it will not create a snapshot. It will assume that the subscriber already has the data. Okay, and then whatever the transitions are happening new on the new publisher, only that it will start replicating. It will not do the snapshot, initial snapshot, and it will not do a BCP in, BCP out. Did you understand, or I mean? Okay, all people are silent.
Yeah, okay.
In migration scenario, we will be using this one, right?
Normally in migration scenario, you use this. Okay, but also in scenario where you are having some issue. Okay. I mean, yeah, normally in migration scenario only you will use this.
Okay.
Or initially when you say that, okay, when you're creating a, for example, if it's a very big table, okay, like it has like say 4 or 5 billions of records, okay, and you don't want a snapshot to be created for that. So what you can do is you can just copy the table from publisher to subscriber, like using import export wizard or copy the backup restore, right? You can copy the table from publisher to subscriber normally, okay, and then you can create the publication using this particular value.
Okay.
And it will not create a snapshot of it. This is only used for very large tables, very large databases. Okay. And we have used this. We have used this in our scenario because we had like in our environment we had almost 150 plus publications involving 1000 plus tables. Okay, and then there was billions of records. In fact, in daily we used to have almost 30 to 40 million records which were getting replicated. Okay, and then imagine the total record size was almost in billions, 2-3 billions records. So we didn't want to create a snapshot of it. That's why we had used this, and it works fine. Okay, sometimes we get the issue. The only caveat is that you should not you have to stop the changes on the publisher. Okay, so when you're doing a migration, right, you stop all the applications which are connecting to the publisher. There should be no changes on that particular table, and then you create the publication from your new publisher, and then it will start from there. Okay, that is the one thing which you have to remember. That while doing migration, there should be no any changes on the if you're using this particular value at that time. Okay. I mean, yeah, see, migration and everything is a very big topic, right? I mean, I can just give a bird's eye view of that. How will you do it? But you know, like the steps and everything, like it's very detailed steps that you have to do it. So basically, if I say you, right, I'll just put some example migration of publisher, right? So stop all transactions on publisher, right? Then create okay, so initially backup database from old publisher to new publisher. Okay, backup and restore. Basically, this is what we do normally for any migration, right? You do in advance, you do a backup restore from old server to new server with no recovery, right? And then you stop it, okay? And then during cutover, when you actually start the cutover, right? So you stop all transactions of publisher, backup log file of old publisher, restore log file on new publisher with recovery. Okay, so your database is up and running on the new publisher. Then you create publication on new publisher with sync type equal to replication support only, because this will not create a snapshot of the table. Okay, and then you create publication new publisher, and then create subscription with sync type equal to replication support only, and then your application starts running from that point in time. So after you create a subscription, public subscription, right? After that, whatever changes are happening on that particular table on the new publisher, that gets replicated to subscriber, and there is no snapshot created. Okay, no snapshot created. Right. So this is how you have to go about while you do a cutover. When this is like very broad steps. Okay, these are all being used only for while doing migration. Okay, while migration we have to use it. Normal scenario we don't use this. Okay. Okay. There's some true or false questions. Okay, I just want to. It's a very tricky one, so I just want you to tell me the answers for this. Guys, ready? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. You can unmute yourself. Yeah. Okay. Tell me. You can configure application or database with a simple recovery model. So if my publisher has simple recovery model, can I use a application?
No.
No.
Yes.
How many of them are no?
Satya, no.
Okay, I heard 2 no's and 1 yes. It is possible. Okay. Replication does not depend upon the recovery model because it is actually not, I mean, see, basically it is reading from the log file, right? So in
Oh.
simple recovery model also the logs are, I mean in all the recovery model, the transactions, whenever transactions happen, it happens on the log file first, right? So we are not
Yes.
concerned about the recovery model. We are just concerned about the transactions on the log file, and we'll pick it up from there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And one thing very important here is that if you have, for example, in the publisher, right? Our database was in replication, right? Okay. So unless your publication pulls the transactions from the log file, your log file will not get truncated, or those log file will not be in active state. It can't be overwritten. Okay. For example, I have updated 100 records in the table, and those records are still not pulled by the log reader agent. Log reader agent has not pulled those records. Okay, it stopped basically, for example, for some reason. So that 100 records will still be there even after 100 years. Okay, because the log reader agent has not pulled up the record, it will never get overwritten.
Oh.
Got it? So if you see a log file of your publisher getting big, one of the reason can be that your log reader agent has not pulled up that data. If your database is in that replication, okay, so that is one troubleshooting you can do it. Okay. Second, I think this is simple. We can filter the rows horizontally and vertically. Is it
Yes.
possible? Yes. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay. Okay, what about this? We can truncate a table which is used in an article and transaction replication. Can you
Yes.
truncate a table? No, you can't. You can't truncate it on a publisher. Okay, so if I try to truncate this table, right?
Whereas in subscriber side we can do, right, Nikhil?
Whatever we can do on this
Yeah,
on the publisher. Okay, okay. I see the question. The publisher. Okay. So
Publishers are even we cannot delete as well, right?
yeah. No, we can delete, but we cannot truncate.
Yeah. Even we cannot drop. I mean to say we cannot
Yeah,
drop the article.
it cannot drop. So if I'm truncating table, right, on OLTP01, okay, cannot truncate table because it is published for application or enabled for change data capture. You can see this, but let me copy this here. Let's see this. Wait. Cannot truncate table because it is published for application. See, you cannot truncate the table on publisher. So I had to change the question. Oh, you saw that. See this. Okay, we cannot truncate the table on the publisher. We can configure replication which already is in always on AG.
Yes.
Yes, because I think people told me that already they are working on that, so it's true. Okay. Database schema and table names on subscriber can be different than publisher.
Yes.
Yes. Bharat, now you don't answer, okay?
Okay.
There are others answer. Yeah. We cannot configure server as a publisher if it is already subscriber. Now it means that your reporting environment, right? Since it's a subscriber,
False.
we cannot configure server as a publisher. False. Okay, you're saying false. What about
Yes.
Satya? Who was it?
Satya.
Satya, right? Rituraj, what about you?
I believe we cannot.
False. We can. Okay. Here on the reporting environment, I can go and I can create publication. New publication. I can do it. Nobody's stopping me to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is in my previous environment, right? What they were doing is they were doing a nested replication. So for example, my data is coming from OLTP01 to RPD01, and from RPD01 again that data is going to RPD02 somewhere. Okay. It was a nested replication that they were doing. It's a bad design, of course, but that's what they were doing. Okay, so it is possible. You can create. but we don't do it. There can be only one subscription for a publication.
No,
Publication.
we can create many subscribers.
Create many subscriptions. A table can participate in multiple publications. So if my table is there in one publication, can it be also present in other publications?
Yes. True.
No, I think.
True, but it will fail eventually.
No, why it will fail?
No, if it is a transactional replication, right? What happens is if the table is already there, which is a part of another publication, it will say it will not go, and it will say it will definitely fail.
No, why it will fail? Let me go and create a same this one. Okay, get done this right. First name like this. Okay, let me go and create a one publication. It will not fail.
Run it at the same time, Nikhil.
I'll run at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this quickly. So it's person. And you can do it. Okay. Let's do it fast. Person. And next here. Same. Okay. I'm doing the same, exactly same. What we have it here. There. Okay. I can't. Okay. Something like this. Okay. Snapshot immediately. Publication trans 2. Okay. And then let me create a subscription for this. And I'll put it in a different table.
No, can you put up the same table, Nikhil?
Same table, obviously it will fail, right? I mean, update will happen, but insert will fail, right?
Yes, that was the scenario that I had during migration of 2017, 2019 that I have. So what happened is when I create the publication, right, accidentally the table is already added, one more time, in one of the publication. Then
Right.
it started, Snapshot was initiated fine successfully because it is irrespective of transactions, right? So I was able to initiate the snapshot. And then when it started happening, the log reader, right, it will always complaining that, the table has some issue. Then when we extracted the script of, what are the tables are part of, multiple publications, during that time I noticed it.
Correct. So yeah, so if you have to change the table name right here.
Yes. This
okay.
will work.
Here we can change the destination database, but in table we can change it in the publication. Okay, that we can do. But let me do the same thing. Okay, let me put it in the same table. Okay, and let me do an update. Update will happen. Insert will fail. Okay, so this is created. And then let me update this where first name like B. Let me do this. Convert to B01. Oh no. First name like A only I wanted to run, right? Sorry. Last name like L. 108 rows affected. So 108 rows affected will happen on both of them. Okay, in trans and also in trans 2. So 108 commands in trans and in trans 2, 108 commands. So both of them did the same thing. See, you can see here. Update is fine. Delete will give the error because one of them deletes it, the other one will not find the record and it will give the error, not find the data. Okay, so it's not a good practice, but yes, we can do it. We can create a different table if you want, then you will not have the issue. On the destination, you can have a different table, then you will not have the issue with any of the things. Why it is possible? Okay, I think 10:14. Any questions, because we're already running late.